Okay, so I will talk about international student mobility and talent attraction, brain drain, and brain circulation in developing countries. I will use the case of Russia for the reference, but I think that this can be applied to many developing countries. The policies, the rationales, and other specifics that I will be covering in my presentation. Luckily, other presenters that I will be following me in this session also cover a lot on the topics of brain circulation. So I think that it will be that we can add to each other's presentations. So, of course, the rationales for one of the rationales for student mobility is talent attraction. Of course, the rationales for student mobility at the national level and for universities vary based on the countries, their conditions, their capacity, and many countries pursue economic rationales, and many countries, in fact, succeed very much in getting tuition revenue and other sorts of revenue from international students. However, and also other rationales such as soft power and of course academic development are also relevant. Those are cornerstones of student mobility, of reasons for student mobility. However, talent attraction is one of the key rationales for universities to attract international students and to engage in international cooperation altogether. Um, Typically, countries attract students by several major pull factors. First of all, this is attractive job market and strong economy of the country, which, according to multiple surveys, is one of the key rationales for students to choose a certain country for their education. Sometimes it goes even before the quality of education. However, obviously, the quality of education is also an extremely important factor here, and by that meaning not only the quality of delivery, the quality of the programs, but also the diversification of programs, different programs and expertise in various specific professional fields, and so on. Also, another important pull factors for and mechanism for countries to attract students and talented students is language policy and language of instruction. And for some countries, especially non-English speaking countries, this can be, for example, for China as well as for Russia, this is one of the barriers for attracting talent. Another important factor is tuition fees and scholarship. This is a very, especially now, but not only during the pandemic, but during but at any time, tuition fees and tuition expenses are very important for international students during their choice of study destination, and countries that aim to attract international talented students develop various policies for scholarships, for tuition discounts, and so on. And another important and for talent attraction, that's really crucial instrument, that's visa regulations. Because for even if students are attracted to the country for studies, they should be able to stay there and to study in order and to work in order to contribute to country's economy, and they should have this opportunity to legally stay in the country after their graduation. Not all countries provide this opportunity for international students. However, the problem is the entire idea of attracting international students, attracting talent through internationalization is somehow controversial. I'm here quoting the phrase of Philip Albach from 2013. However, right now, during the pandemic, the quote is even more relevant. There is absolutely no recognition of any contradiction between, for example, Millennium Development Goals, which stress the necessity for educational development in the emerging nations, and policies aimed at attracting the best brains from developing countries. that was said almost 10 years ago. However, now as we see new and very tangible challenges related to the pandemic, this also is a very important notion. The policies addressing the brain drain can be divided into three categories. Those are retain policies, return policies, and engagement policies. Here I will focus in this part of the presentation. I will focus a little bit more about not on how to attract students, but how to not lose talented students to other economies. And retain policies are this is sometimes it's argued that improvement of quality of higher education in the country, in fact, actually slows down internationalization, as students have no rationale to go and study abroad. However, the improvement of quality of the national system is not damaging to internationalization in its best meaning, because when students go for studying abroad, they go to actually get international experience, international expertise, and international outlook, not to use their studies as a path to job market and immigration. Other retained policies include increased funding for research and technology, double degree programs, and other mechanisms. Return policies are aimed on returning students after their studies abroad, and those policies were in fact very successfully introduced in China. They include beneficial conditions for housing loans for students who return from abroad, beneficial employment conditions, establishment of career centers for returnees, and so on. And this in fact is an excellent example of policies for talent attraction of countries' own students after their international experience. Another type of policies that address brain drain is engagement policies. These can take a form of a diaspora approach when, for example, students remain in the foreign country. However, they still remain engaged in the life of their own, they remain engaged in their own national context, national community, and possibly national job market as well. And that also engagement policies can include engagement for temporary and distant employment, which now, as job market moves to a digital format, can be exceptionally relevant during the pandemic. So I will speak now a little bit about the Russian case. So brain drain from during the Soviet Union collapse, brain drain from Russia was one of the key problems of the industry and of the academia. However, it significantly decreased during the 2001-2010, and it slightly started increasing again after 2012. However, the dynamic of international student population is also increasing. So Russia is demonstrating quite relatively successful trends in attracting international students. And during the past 5 years, the number of international students grew significantly, and it remains growing. And the main countries that deliver international students to Russia are mostly post-Soviet countries, and China is the exception here, as it takes the second place as international recruitment market. Russian policies for talent attractions to student mobility include various mechanisms at various levels. And first of all, the dynamic of the positive dynamic of student recruitment is explained by launch of federal project Education Expert. It was launched in 2016, and it included several important parts, such as development of new education products at different education levels, training for academic staff, support of recruitment initiatives, and marketing and promotion of Russian education abroad, popularization of Russian culture abroad through various Russian schools, language schools, and national organizations and so on, and development of infrastructure, specifically development of campus infrastructure and infrastructure for international students, for example, dormitories. Another factors that can another pull factors for international students to pursue education in Russia are comparatively low tuition fees. The tuition fees are still higher than, for example, in Germany or in tuition-free countries. However, they still vary from $5,000 to $10,000, which is comparatively low. Which is low in comparison to many competitors. Another important pull factor is scholarships for studying in Russia, and this is quite a large initiative. Altogether, there are more than 20,000 full tuition and living scholarships for students who demonstrate academic excellence. And in addition, there are Olympiads for international applicants, which means that at the school level, Russian National Recruitment Agency initiates competitions for pupils, for school students who demonstrate exceptional success, and they are allowed to enter Russian universities without any specific application process and study, and they're allowed to study for free. In addition to these instruments, there's also some exceptions for tuition fees for CIS countries. For example, students from Belarus, from Kazakhstan also study in Russia for free, which is a significant pull factors for these categories, and which explains the high number of international students from these countries in Russia. However, there are also challenges for talent attractions through international mobility. And first of all, those are visa policies. This is one of the most challenging barrier so far, as visa policies in Russia do not allow students to work during their studies. They do, however, the procedure of getting a work permission is very complicated. It takes a lot of commitment from the employer, and therefore it's not a very widely spread practice. The second challenge for talent attraction is language of instruction. Still, despite multiple initiatives, education in Russia is not exactly internationalized, except the top institutions, and therefore the language of instruction remains Russian, and for many students it is a challenge, and it is a reason for them to pursue education in another country. Another factor that hinders talent attraction is colonial model of education expert. As more than 60% of Russians of international students come to Russia from CIS countries, from former Soviet Union countries, because they know Russian, and because for them it's because they don't experience very large cultural shock and so on. For them, it's Russia is a very interesting and popular destination. However, this focus on CIS countries doesn't allow Russia to fully explore its potential in other emerging and promising markets, for example, in Latin America, in Africa, and so on. And finally, this is the challenges include organizational matters such as low level of cooperation with industry and low level of cooperation with alumni. Because, for example, if to speak about industry, some other countries demonstrate very successful practices. For example, Canada has its co-op programs that include practice within the study course. And many programs in Europe and the US include internship as an optional or even obligatory part of study program, which helps students to become familiar with the job market and so on. Unfortunately, this is not developed in Russia yet. as well that at that level as in other competing countries. And low level of cooperation with alumni, that's another factor that hinders talent attraction, because alumni can be a very useful, helpful channel of promoting education and in general for keeping ties with students who already returned to their countries but still can collaborate with Russian universities, for example. Mm-hmm. At the same time, the population of Russian students abroad is not as large as incoming students. Altogether, it's about 70,000 students. However, those students, according to multiple surveys, are best and brightest students who show excellent academic results and who are very eager about their professional development. And the survey that was conducted 2 years ago shows that, in fact, Russian students, those are the results of the survey that had 300 respondents, and those are respondents who want to study at the master's level in foreign countries. And according to the survey, one of the key goals, one of the most popular plans for graduates is to stay and find a job in the host country after graduation. Those are about 42% of students, which means a significant loss of talent for Russia. And however, there are still groups who want to, for example, get work experience in the host country and come back, or who have a very clear goal to pursue career in Russia after graduating from foreign institution. It's interesting that almost 20% of Russian students want to pursue an academic career abroad, which is potentially also, of course, damaging for development of academia. And motivations to stay abroad for Russian students include, first and foremost, it's a high salary rate in the host country, and it can be expected that, of course, quality of life and high salary are the main rationales for students. And also, better career opportunities in the host country is mentioned as one of the most popular rationales. And as for the motivations to come back to Russia after graduating from foreign university, it's interesting enough that the second most popular response is that, my apologies, the second most popular response is that students want to contribute to development of Russian economy, so contribution to development of my home country. That's one of the key reasons to come back. In addition to that, interesting motivations include having a job offer in the home country in Russia, and having more career opportunities in Russia, and studying via scholarship, and being obliged to return to Russia. Mm-hmm. So I think that I will skip this slide as I'm running out of time. And as if to speak about the future possible instruments for retain, return, and engagement policies, one of the most interesting and promising retain policy can be initiatives for development of double degree programs, which still contributes to internationalization. However, keeps students engaged at their home country institutions. Return policies include pronounced message for those who are studying abroad, because as can be seen from the results of the survey, the incentive of contributing to the country is very important for a large group of students. However, many of them don't feel the same response from the country, and don't feel that their expertise is needed back in Russia. And finally, the engagement policies include ties and connections with those who decided to pursue a career abroad, which is brain circulation. And as now a lot of sectors of industry are going online, this can be a real opportunity for Russia to to prevent brain drain and to make its job market more internationalized. And now I'm moving to the final part of my presentation. As obviously the pandemic showed that there are new challenges that we have to address. First of all, it's new rules at the job market and expansion of the digital global job market. That includes many implications. For example, it is a change of work culture, change of moving to remote jobs, ability to work from any point of the world. And from one hand, this is a potential damage to national job markets, as many talented students can look for jobs in the foreign countries while staying in their home countries. However, this can work both ways, and it includes also opportunities. For example, Estonia launched a very interesting initiative, digital nomad visas, and other countries also can elaborate different policies, not only to keep their students at their national job markets, but also to collaborate with those who with those students who decided to stay abroad. Also, the challenges for, and I guess my colleague Giorgio will continue with this idea in his next presentation, but I just wanted to mention that the risks for national higher education systems during the pandemic and risks for national economic systems are very tangible and obvious, and they are directly related to talent attraction and being able to sustain talent, as uneven capacity for coping with crisis in different countries creates a significant risks for growing inequality in different countries and within different regions. The challenges for COVID-19 also pose a lot of questions for national initiatives. For example, here are the results of the survey conducted this summer among Russian universities that attract the majority of international students. And the institutions expect show very deep interest, of course, in national support, especially in help in recruitment at the national level, simplification of admissions procedure, assistance with visa issues, and arrangement of special scholarships during the pandemic. However, at the university level, the response to the pandemic, institutions see that there is a space for improvement and for functioning even in these extreme conditions. And the promising part here is that the almost 20% of surveyed universities told that they consider and they plan a development of joint degree programs in cooperation with foreign institutions, which is also which is a very helpful initiative in terms of stabilizing brain drain and boosting brain circulation. So the solutions for the times of COVID include participation of actors at all levels. First of all, university instruments for talent circulation can include creation of joint programs, cooperation in research, other formats of engagement, and keeping internationalization at place, yet through different instruments, for example, through virtual mobility. Within the countries and regions, engagement of all actors is really needed. And here we can remember the triple helix model of connection between industry, universities, and government, especially industry, as the place for talent retainment is an important actor here. And national policies for talent circulation are also crucial in times of COVID. For example, especially the methodological support for universities and visa policies in the first place. And finally, global initiatives for cooperation and talent circulation, cooperation initiatives at the regional level, initiatives at the global level can be very helpful to keep internationalization at track and yet not to put developing countries at danger of losing its talent to other developing countries in such severe conditions of the pandemic. So my apologies if I ran out of time, and Okay.